Well, BET done goofed up last night. They posted on their website and social media what is basically a beat for beat review of tonight's new episode. Yeah, full circle moments. They literally have the entire episode broken down from top to bottom. First of all, if you don't want spoilers and you just want to go into tonight's episode blind outside of my, trailer breakdowns and whatnot, then click off the video. Even though you're here, so you can at least give it a thumbs up. That would be nice. But I am a bit shocked because I'm like, wait a minute, what would you drop this the day before the episode comes out? It makes watching the episode redundant, especially for fans who, you know, are uncertain about jumping into the season because it's just going to be more of the same. But hey, what can you do? I mean, when BET hands me lemons, I got to work with it. So I'll leave a link to the article in the comment section below. And I don't know, maybe you'll thank me because it's like, well, now I don't have to watch the episode. Okay, so what do we have here? Andy still has no sense when it comes to Gary. Wow, a big shocker. In the second episode of the season, she is getting better at fighting his seduction, but she still has a lot of work to do. We start episode 2, and like I said before, this literally tells you everything about the episode from top to bottom. We start episode 2 with Andy driving a drunk Danny home after the spectacle she created at the bar. It feels like old times and seems things are genuinely good between them. However, we eventually get to the real talk when Andy tells Danny that she will leave Gary alone for real this time. We all know even God doesn't believe that, but we will see. Sorry, chair squeaking. Danny gets home only to find Jonah. Remember him? He's the one who beat her up after she crushed his ego, so then ran his butt over. Why do they keep... I don't know why it irks me for them to keep saying that Danny ran him over. She crashed her car into his. Yeah, him. He's healed up and has a score to settle. What do you mean healed up? The last time we saw him at the airport, he had one crutch. One crutch. Not a bruise, not a cut, not a black eye, nothing. He found his way into her apartment with evil intentions. They get into a brawl, and it looks like one has to kill the other for this to end. Okay. She fights fiercely, but ends up on the losing end until Preston shows up. Thankfully for Danny, Preston wants to talk to her about their unresolved issues, so he knocks Jonah out and keeps Danny from killing him. You know what? That would have been kind of interesting. Like, let's say if Danny actually killed Jonah, because of the fact that now you have her and potentially Maurice facing murder charges. But at least in the Jonah situation, it's completely warranted, given the fact that it was breaking and entering with the intent to harm her, and Maurice went over to the airport looking for trouble. Eventually, the police show up and Danny tells them she has a restraining order against Jonah. The police say they'll be in touch, which isn't quite the, the level of safety one would hope to have after being attacked. Yeah, I agree with that. But thankfully, Preston stays the night. Danny tries to get him to leave, but he does the right thing. And it's quite obvious he probably won't be getting married. I mean... no offense, but the right thing would be going back to the hotel with your fiance, because of the fact that, and no, this isn't Danny slander. Don't worry, this isn't Danny slander, but I'm looking at Preston like Danny is trying to get Preston to leave, but he's not respecting her wishes because of the fact that, he realizes, oh, she wants to get rid of me because she's angry about the whole Mindy thing. But at the same time, it's understandable for her to be mad. But on the other side of the coin, it's like, well, Danny, you're the one who didn't want to accept his proposal. But then again, I don't see why she would, considering how, how much they don't even know, how much they know about each other, which isn't much. And I'm getting a headache just thinking about it. But essentially, Preston just stays. And now I'm just thinking, what the hell is Mindy doing? All right. The article goes on to say they're both still in love, but Danny is stubbornly committed to self-sabotaging. I'm not going to lie, I can't put this all on Danny because I just do not like how Preston's written. Next up, Andy finally gets home after a long night, sees Gary in the bed, covered by the rose petals. He looks good and all, but we're tired of him. Will Andy do what she said she would? Because he's talking about how he's been a bad boy and wants to be punished. And you already know his sexiness has Andy in a chokehold. Anyway, she cuts the seduction tactic short and tells him she's tired of the games and tired of him trying to control her, especially with the whole trying to take over her job thing. She asked him to leave, and he insists that he stays the night in the penthouse. He's still trying to get it popping. We all know that Andy should make him leave and finally cut him off, but she sends him to the guest room instead. She didn't do what needed to be done, but at least she resisted, kind of. Okay. We also find out later that Gary is still being sneaky. He calls Hayden and expresses that he's shocked that Andy knew about him trying to take over the company she works for. Why would he be shocked by this? She already knows that you and Hayden tried to do... Also, correct me if I'm wrong, but Robin never showed up for that 5 o'clock meeting in the season 5 finale. Gary was waiting in Hayden's office and they were, gloating, and Hayden sent out the official email to the entire law firm about Robin no longer being in charge. And then Gary was like, yeah, let's not be too gleeful, man, because I feel like he might be cooking something up when we ain't looking. So that means Andy got that email. Also, before that, Robin asked Andy, he's like, are you working with Gary against me? And why would he be... Hopefully this is just the article saying this instead of the episode, because if Gary's like, how did she know about it? Nigga, she already knew. Plus you told her to her face in the penthouse when she kind of confronted you about it. And she was like, look, don't mess things up with Robin because I'm trying to make partner. This is just as ridiculous as the whole Pam not knowing about the light, meaning that the curlers aren't off, despite noticing this in season 5. Okay. Oh yeah, okay. Mind you, he's bold enough to make this phone call to Hayden while still in Andy's apartment. Yeah, whatever. Alright. Later, Calvin stops by Sabrina's apartment and tells her about the recent incident between Q and Maurice. She's freaked out mainly because Q is in the hospital, and then Maurice shows up acting like he has no care in the world. Oh, God. Sabrina gives him a 3rd degree, which could get Maurice in more trouble. Huh? They're on bail for now, but still not out of the woods. They want their jobs at the bank back, but the bank itself plans to fully investigate. Like I said many times, the bank should have recorded records from the phone call that Sabrina made to another branch in order to get the to get the safe to lock, because Q was trying to rob the bank too early, so the safe itself wasn't even open yet. Sabrina made a phone call and then used like a special a special code or a word that indicated that, oh my God, this branch is being robbed. We're going to call the police immediately. I don't know what. Okay. Meanwhile, Maurice swears he will get Q to tell authorities the truth so they can finally walk away from this. How, Maurice? How are you going to do this? His judgment is questionable, so Sabrina and Calvin are right to be concerned. In other news, Zatima is happier since this timeline is taking place before the events of the last season of the spinoff. I call bullshit. Zach makes Fatima breakfast before she heads to work, and he tells her he will make arrangements to be formally introduced to Michael. He asks if she would like to join him, and she agrees. So how did all of this good communication eventually fall apart? Did you all not watch Sistas Season 5 where the communication was completely off the entire season? Please don't try to make the timeline make sense. At Danny's place, Preston informs her that Jonah has made bail, which probably means he's connected, and offers to stay with her for a while. At first, Danny resists, but eventually agrees to let Preston stay. Again, Preston ain't getting married. Then what was the point of bringing Mindy into the show? What was this whole Jonah thing just an entire ruse to get Preston and Danny back together? Oh, okay. Fast forward to a sneaky call between Tamara and Fatima where the former reveals to Fatima that this article keeps saying Aiden when it's Hayden. The former reveals to Fatima that Hayden is falling for her and wants to get her a job at the firm, which is something that was established in season 5. Fatima says this can't go down like that. Again, this was established in season 5. Then Tamara starts asking for money, but Fatima reminds her that her cousin Madam should have already taken care of whatever deal they made, and that she shouldn't be asking for extras. Look, I'm only going by what we saw on screen, and what we saw on screen was Fatima calling, I believe, Madam, asking for the biggest, baddest gold digger in her collection, so to speak. But I don't ever remember any sort of payment being agreed upon. I mean, I'm not saying that Fatima gets freebies from her cousin. You know, maybe there is a family discount or something. But at the same time, you know, well, I mean, Madam knows about the Hayden stuff. Because she was even like, man, you should let me just kill him off instead of just beat him up. I don't know where this greed is coming from, but I just feel like it's a bit too much and it's really just pouring in the cup of, oh, Tamara's about to screw up. Okay, so Tamara pretends it's all good, but it becomes clear that she's also sneaking and plans to cause problems. The episode ends without us knowing what's up with Karen. We last saw her passed out in the fire in the middle of the shop. Pam pulls up to the shop and notices what went down, and we leave it at that. So that one photo from TV Line where Pam is hugged up with a firefighter is just like I predicted. That's the cliffhanger ending. She gets there, probably Aaron too, learns about a body being found in the fire, and then that's it. That's the episode. So I'm guessing Karen might not be in this episode at all because there was no mention of Karen in this entire article. There was no mention of a, opening scene where you pick up at the fire. But no, Karen's alive, folks. But yeah, BET, come on now. I mean, if y'all do this every week, by all means, I mean, it makes it easier for me. Now I might not even have to take notes tonight because we got this entire episode, recap. So does this count as my episode recap already? I don't know. We'll see. Well, let me put it this way. If this article is really as accurate to the episode itself, then my official episode review is not going to be long at all. I'll just reference this video, but let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Are you still going to watch the episode tonight? Or it'll be like, well, hell, why would I? But regardless, like and subscribe, follow me on social media, and no, I have no idea what I would score this episode. I need to see how things actually play out, and we'll go from there. So again, like and subscribe. I'll catch you in the next one.